All right, we are live once again. Another live stream here, this time in Cincinnati. Welcome to everyone joining in. Noah Hiles from the Post-Gazette coming to you from the Queen City. Well, I guess I'm technically coming to you from Kentucky because that's where my hotel room is, but nonetheless, on the road, third road series of the season for the Pirates. First one not in Florida. I will say the weather is not as nice for this one compared to the other ones, but hey, we'll take the opportunity to travel and cover baseball any way we can get it. Pirates starting tonight at 6:40 against the Cincinnati Reds, a pair of 5-8 ball clubs, NL Central action. Just trying to kill a little bit more time before more people join in here. Big thanks to our sponsor, Greenewalt Roofing, for covering us for all of our video content. All right, so let's get started. Another live stream. Hello to everyone who is watching from home back in Pittsburgh or wherever you're at. Happy Friday, happy weekend. Another weekend closer to summer. Another weekend into the baseball season. I know a lot of you are probably watching from work or in your final hours of your work week. I'm excited for you all to have some free time, some downtime to enjoy the weekend, enjoy some baseball this weekend. So if you're watching and you have a comment, if you have a question, be sure to say what you want to say below on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. Those are what we're broadcasting on. So if you're watching and want to drop a comment, want to hear me talk about something, let me know. Comment. And also, if you don't already, subscribe to the Post-Gazette's YouTube channel at PG Pirates. We just eclipsed the 1,000 subscriber mark last week. Really proud of that. Or is it this week? One of those two. All the days kind of blend together during baseball season. But really proud of that. So keep adding to the total, and we'll keep bringing you the coverage. Not only on this channel, but at post-gazette.com. as well, where you can read all of our Pirates coverage. Myself, Colin Beasley. We have columns, Jason Mackey, Joe Starkey, Paul Zeiss, Gene Collier. They'll have you covered with that. And then we've got other things on the site as well. Steelers, Penguins, Pitt, Penn State, high school, Duquesne, Robert Morris, and then some non-sports stuff as well. It is a newspaper. A lot of non-sports stuff, I should say. So, all right. So check out the Post-Gazette. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to talking some Bucko baseball. Pirates arrive in Cincinnati. Interesting early season showdown between two NL Central foes, the Pirates and the Reds. Both teams enter this one 5-8. Both teams enter this one having won 4 of their last 6. The Pirates have been playing better inside that 10-game stretch, coming in winning 3 of their last 4. The Reds, interestingly enough, despite being under 500, are one of only 2 teams in the division that have a positive differential. They're +2. The Pirates are -19, which is one of the worst in baseball, definitely the worst in the division. But a unique matchup in the sense where the Pirates ran into a team earlier this week, the Cardinals, who arrived in Pittsburgh with the best batting average in baseball, team batting average, and the best team on base percentage in baseball. And the pitching staff didn't have a ton of issues limiting those bats. Paul Skeens got roughed up in his outing, but the other 2 worked out well, and that resulted in a series win for the Pirates. The Cardinals pitching staff was not doing well, entered that series with the worst ERA in baseball, 6.01, and it held the Pirates bats quiet in 2 of those 3 games. Kind of the opposite here. The Reds are struggling offensively right now, similar to the Pirates. They enter this series 26th in Major League Baseball in both batting average and OPS, but the pitching staff is doing its part of the job right now. The Reds have the fourth best earned run average in baseball, 3.15 ERA. We're seeing one of the better pitchers on this staff tonight with Brady Singer on the mound. He's 2-0 with a 2.25 ERA so far this season. He will be opposed by Bailey Falter. The Reds don't have their probables listed for the rest of the series, but the Pirates are going to be starting Falter Friday night, Heaney Saturday night, and Carmen Mlodzinski Sunday afternoon. So I guess we could start there just with the conversation. Reds pitching. What did the Pirates do against this? Obviously, offense has been an issue. The last time this team played a game, it played 13 innings, and it scored 2 runs. Both of those were unearned runs. So it's not like runs are coming at a premium for this team. They've played 13 games altogether, if that's right. Yeah, 13 games altogether, and they've only scored more than 4 runs twice in those 13 games. And in one of those 2 game instances where they scored more than 4 runs, it was in an extra innings victory. So in a standard 9-inning game, this team has only eclipsed 4 runs once. And that was on Monday against the Cardinals. So they will be challenged against a Reds pitching staff that's throwing the ball right now, throwing the ball really well right now, like I said, with Brady Singer, 2-0, 2.25 ERA. Bailey Falter coming off not so great outing his last time out. It was against the Yankees on Saturday. 4 solid innings, and then he got into that 5th frame, and they just really roughed him up to the point where he was chased from the game. It was, I think, midway through his second trip through the order. A lot of hard contact, and I'm interested to see Bailey's usage of the breaking stuff today. The curveball, I thought, has been good so far. Some of the other pitches have been getting hit hard because he's leaving them over the plate. So we'll see what Bailey Falter looks like today. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I do remember him having at least one less than ideal outing against this team in Cincinnati last year, So we will see if he looks better this time. This is a tough ballpark to pitch in for pitchers that call it their home ballpark and pitchers on the road. It's a tough spot. So we'll see if they can battle through that and take advantage of this struggling offense, which ranks 26th in baseball in batting average and OPS. So that's the story with Bailey Falter, is just can he, a guy who's a fly ball pitcher, get outs in this ballpark where the ball flies out of the yard. This is by far the best hitters park in the National League Central Division. I think it's one of the best hitters parks in baseball. I wouldn't put it ahead of Coors, but I wouldn't put it much further behind Coors. I would put it in the top 5. So for a fly ball pitcher like Bailey, this place could be a challenge. I think the weather might help him here, where the ball is probably not going to carry as much because it's colder outside. But we'll see. And following Bailey Falter, Heaney Saturday. Heaney's coming off of the best outing of any Pirates pitcher this season, I would say. I guess maybe Keller was better. But Heaney, 7 strong innings. I believe he allowed 1 earned run. Or no, 7 shutout innings, I want to say, right? Keller had the shutout innings. Heaney allowed 1 run over 7 innings against the Yankees. So he's coming back off of that. Didn't get the win there. Got the no decision because that game went into extra innings. But so he's coming off of that performance. And Carmen Mlodzinski, best start of his big league career was on Monday, was the game's winning pitcher. He threw 5 innings for the first time in the league. He will close this series out. So interesting to see if Falter can bounce back, and then Heaney, if he and the guy pitching after him, Carmen Mlodzinski, can recover from there, or can continue, I should say, off of really good outings of their last time out. So that's a look at the pitching staff. We'll take a look at the comments here. We got Scott gassing me up. Thank you. Fresh cut. It's about time. It's about time. Been a long time coming for the haircut here. So if you guys have questions, comment them below. Would be happy to answer them. Andrew asks, if Shelton is fired, then who would be the interim manager till the end of the season, and what coaches would also be like go if he is fired during the season if it continues there? Okay. He's asking essentially what would the coaching like if Shelton was fired? I think the answer would be Don Kelly would probably take over as the interim manager. I don't know if any other coaching changes would come mid-season. Just because, I mean, the hitting coach is brand new. I don't think he'd get fired mid-season. I don't think they'd fire like first or third base coaches mid-season. I don't know if that, I mean, I'm sure that's happened sometime in baseball, just because everything's happened in baseball. It's a long season. A lot can happen. But I think if any coach is going to get can this year. It would be Shelton mid-season. I'm not saying that's going to happen, and even if that does, I don't expect any other guys to lose their job in season. Now, if Shelton's gone, I don't think that bodes well for anyone else on the coaching staff as far as having their positions retained at the end of the season. But to answer your question, yeah, it'd probably just be Donnie Kelly taking over as the interim manager for the remainder of the year. So, but I don't know. I mean, hey, if they keep winning, then Shelton will be safe with his job. So that's the question that was asked. I answered it. So any other questions, people can shoot my way. Again, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already at PG Pirates. Really happy with the growth this channel's had, and we'll see how far we can get it going moving forward. You can check out my mailbag that published yesterday. Jason Mackey has a couple of videos coming out a week. We did our series recap Wednesday, late Wednesday evening after that series against the Cardinals concluded. We'll keep that going. We're going to do these live streams at the beginning of every series. Sorry I couldn't do this in the afternoon. I try to do these at noon on the start of a series, but I was a little busy getting down here to Cincinnati for this series. So another interesting talking point I want to hit on is Kyle Nicolas, the roster move that was made yesterday. Thomas Harrington optioned down to AAA Indianapolis. Kyle Nicolas recalled from AAA Indianapolis. We'll take a look at both of those moves real quick. First one, Thomas Harrington optioned down. Not surprised by that. I mean, right now, I think they like the 5 starters they have in their rotation, or at least 4 of the 5, and the 1 starter in the rotation that still has something to prove. I think has proved more than Thomas Harrington right now. And I'm talking about Carmen Mlodzinski. I mean, Carmen beat this guy out for a spot in the rotation in camp. He was just the better pitcher this spring. And he's looked like the better pitcher through his 2 outings compared to Thomas Harrington's 2 outings. So I wasn't shocked to see him get optioned down, and I wasn't shocked to see Kyle Nicolas get promoted, get recalled from AAA Indianapolis to take his spot in the bullpen. So why did it take so long for Kyle to come up? Well, he was optioned, and when you get optioned in big league camp and you're on the 40-man roster, you cannot come back up for the first 15 days of the season unless there's an injury. So that's why we didn't see Kyle Nicolas earlier. There had to be an injury. Now, granted, there was an injury with Colin Holderman. They chose Chase Shugart over Nicolas. I don't know why that happened. I mean, apparently they liked what Shugart could provide compared to Nicolas for the role they wanted him to be in. But I figured Kyle Nicolas would be up here soon, and he was. I personally still think he probably should have made the team out of camp. I get why he didn't. He just simply had options, and he has stuff to work on. The control isn't great. But this is a guy who deserves to be in a major league bullpen. I think he makes this bullpen better. I think eventually we'll see this guy pitching in leverage situations this year. Right now, I think they really like the other 2 righties for late inning game situations, Justin Lawrence and Dennis Santana. And I get why they like both of those righties for late game situations, because they've looked really good to start this season. And then they've got Ferguson and Baraki, I think, for leverage as left-handers. But I think Kyle could work his way back in there if he just shows that he can get control of the strike zone. His numbers in AAA weren't amazing. I think he was tagged in 2 separate outings for 3 earned runs. He had a 11 ERA or something higher than, I think it was like 11.74 over 3 2/3 innings. That's fine. I don't really care about that, to be frank. If you've proven that you can be a big league pitcher, which I think he last year with the work volume that he took on, I'm not worried about a couple of bad outings in AAA. Now, if that continues in the major leagues, that's a problem. But I think they planned on getting Kyle up here sometime in mid-April, and he arrived. So he's the guy that makes their bullpen better. I think there are other guys that can make the bullpen better in AAA as well that we'll eventually see up here. But it's good to see another leverage arm, another true reliever in this bullpen, because Sugar is a guy who can start games. He's kind of your long relief guy right now. If you're in a blowout and need someone to just cover innings, that's the guy you go to. Harrington was kind of the same guy, same situation. If you were going to keep him in the bullpen or piggyback him with Carmen, that's fine, but You don't need 2 long relievers for that type of situation. And I don't know if you can afford to go with a piggyback with the way the bullpen is working right now, where you don't have as many defined roles. So I get why they tried it one time, but they saw Carmen prove that he can get 5 innings of work in. And after he showed that, great. That means he's a qualified starter. Now, will he do that every time? I don't know. Probably not. He's going to have some hiccups here and there. It's still his first year as a big league starter. But yeah, for now, I think they feel confident enough to make him a true starter where they don't need to piggyback and they can add to the bullpen. All right. So Gandhi asks, Constrictor. Shout out Joe Starkey for giving me that nickname, the Noah Constrictor. Tough matchup tonight. Singer is pitching well. Big series for both teams. Any bats in AA or AAA that could get a shot? Not in this series, but I think he's just talking more season-wide view. I don't know about AA. I think in AAA, there are guys we'll see. I think we'll see Nick York at some point this year. We probably would have seen Nick York a little earlier this year or already if he wasn't injured. I think he'd be here instead of Z Chang. But he's hurt, so they called Z up instead. York would be the first bat that comes to mind. Henry Davis will be up here eventually. Okay, Gandhi can clarifies in general. My bad. So yeah, I think York, Henry Davis, I would say those are like the only bats, right? Like Billy Cook will be up here, but Billy Cook is a glove first player in my opinion. So I don't know if his bat adds anything to this lineup, where I think Nick York is a better hitter than some of the guys on this active big league roster. That's why I would say he's a bat that could help. I think Henry Davis has the potential to be a much better hitter than some of the bats on this big league lineup. So that's why I would say him. Billy Cook, I don't know if he's that much better of a hitter right now than Emmanuel Valdez. So I would put him in that same category as hitter. I think he has a higher ceiling, but right now, maybe another bat that we could see is Matt Gorski. I know that is a name that some Pirates fans have been harping on for a while now. But the reality is with that guy, he's not on the 40-man roster. So if they really want Matt Gorski here, they're going to have to DFA someone else to get him here. And I don't know if they like him that much to do that, or at least right now. I think Gorski would make a ton of sense in this on this roster right now with Horwitz down because, and I said this in my mailbag, I think he'd be their best defensive outfielder right now. Because right now their most reliable outfield gloves are 37-year-old Tommy Pham and 38-year-old Andrew McCutchen. Sawinski makes a lot of mistakes, and Oneil Cruz makes even more. Canario just does not look good in the field either. So I think Gorski brings defensive stability in the outfield. He also gives a right-handed option at first base, something that they lost with Triolo. I know Endy is a switch hitter and can bat from the right side against lefties and play first base, but I would rather just see Endy get at bats from the left side right now. But they're not seemingly in a rush to put Gorski on the 40-man. So that answers that question. Only time for a couple more. There's going to have to be a short stream just because got to get to the ballpark. Sorry, it's a short stream. Just it's a travel day is what it is. I always say I try to get 20 to 30 minutes in. So we're approaching the 20-minute mark. So I got time for a couple more. So Sam asks, what role do you see for guys like Dari Murrieta and Johan Oviedo once they get healthy? I like that question. It's a good one to end on. Murrieta, I think, can come in and be a regular in this bullpen. If we haven't learned anything from the last however many years regime, it's that a lot of pitchers are going to be needed to get through 162 games. That applies for all teams, but especially seemingly like the Pirates, just the way their luck is gone with injuries and just with young pitchers. Sometimes things get away from them early and you find yourself in a spot where you need a lot to be covered. There's going to be a lot of movement in this bullpen. I mean, I'm sure we'll see Holderman back by the end of this month. Bednar, I don't know when he'll be back, but he'll be back in the major leagues. But Murrieta is a guy that I think will be up here, and I think he'll throw big league innings. It'll probably be a little bit of time. I don't expect him, if Lawrence and Santana keep throwing the ball well, they're probably going to be in some variation of the 8th and 9th inning, with the left-handers mixed in there as well. But Murrieta can be in a role similar to what I thought he was in 23. He could just be a solid 7th inning guy, maybe like your Kyle Nicolas last year, if you want to give a comparison, or your Carmen Mlodzinski last year. They'll probably be mindful of his workload because he's coming back from Tommy John. And then Oviedo is interesting. Oviedo is a guy where I don't know if he's going to be used as a true starter this year, just because he's coming back from Tommy John and then he injures the lat during his return process. But I think he can maybe be used similar to how Harrington was used so far this year. Maybe in a spot start where he gives you 3 or 4 innings and then long relief maybe as a piggyback guy. And I think there's a lot of guys who are going to fall into that category as the year goes on. Guys with options. Like you look, Mike Burrows can bounce back and forth between AAA and the major leagues. Braxton Ashcraft, same thing. They're on the 40-man roster. Harrington, I think Oviedo. Those are guys that if you need a spot start, you have options. You don't have to just try to go with whoever's on the schedule because you feel like anyone who's scheduled to pitch that day in AAA can come up and give you 3 to 4 solid innings of pitching in the big leagues. And if you want to keep them in the bullpen or go with a 6-man rotation for a little bit, depending on what the schedule looks like, that's where the depth comes into play. All of these guys are going to be needed. Like last year, they got into August. They traded away some of their depth pieces. They traded away Martin Perez. They traded away Quinn Priester. And they thought they're going to be okay. But then all of a sudden, Jared Jones goes down. All of a sudden, Bailey Falter goes down. And next thing you know, Jake Woodford and Domingo Germán are starting games in August. I don't think they're going to have that problem this year. So I think we'll end it there. We'll wrap it up there. Got to get ready to get to the ballpark here soon. Check out all of my work at post-gazette.com. Get yourself a digital subscription. It's well worth it, not only for my coverage, definitely not just for my coverage, but for my many talented coworkers. Colin Beasley, who's my beat partner on the Post-Gazette Pirates beat. All of the sports writers we have that cover the Steelers, Penguins, Pitt, Penn State, high school sports. And then, of course, the non-sports stuff, which is important, and that needs to be read and valued and supported as well. So get yourself a digital subscription or even get the paper delivered to your house. What's better than opening up a newspaper, holding it in your hand, reading it? So that's what I would recommend anyway. So check that out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already at PG Pirates. We appreciate you all tuning in. Gandy's telling me to enjoy my skyline. We'll see about that. I'm gonna eat it. Don't know if I'll enjoy it. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, we will have you covered here on this channel. We'll have some updates for you. We'll have the series recap like we always do. We'll have more series live moving forward, and we'll have you covered for the rest of the regular season and beyond here on the Post-Gazette Pirates YouTube channel. Take care.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.